trick shot artists in golf are a rare breed. To do it for 35 years plus is amazing. All of the practice, all of the workouts, all of the coordination. Joey O continues to put on the greatest trick show in golf. He did it for us at Cedar Rapids during the Cedar Rapids Open. We sat down with him. He and I have been around quite a while to talk about the game and his development from his days at Finkbein and at Gardner to what he is today, 35 years later, still the trick shot artist of the world. I would like to introduce an old friend for Brooks on Sports. Joey Oshman, the real name, Joey O, the entertainer. He has entertained millions of people around the world with trick shots, with his pros. It's a great show, and it goes on and on at the age of 56. Joey, why did you get started doing that?
Well, Bob, my mom and dad took me to a circus back in 1961 here in Iowa, Cedar Rapids, and I was so inspired and so entertained, and I remember looking into my mom's beautiful eyes, and I thought someday that I too would like to be an entertainer and make people smile. And that was a long time ago. That was 52 years ago. And but I remember it like yesterday, and I put it into mind.
Probably Ringling Brothers Circus.
Probably was, or the Shriners. I can't remember which it was, but it was here in town. Yeah. And I remember seeing incredible jugglers and comedy acts and balancing acts, and I just thought someday I'd like to make people smile too.
Because I know of your lineage, nobody in your family ever thought about doing that, I don't imagine.
No, I was just very lucky through the years to meet people like I had mentioned you before, like Larry Griswold, who was one of the finest entertainers in the world in his day, not to mention coming from this area. And he taught me a lot about show business as well as a lot of other people. And I was very lucky.
And going back a little further, the big break for Joey came, I presume, when you appeared with Bob Hope.
That was one of them. That was one of the most memorable experience I've ever had. And Bob Hope was one of the finest people I've ever met, and he was no ego, very helpful and very kind. And I used to practice with him at Lakeside Country Club in Toluca Lake, which is like Burbank area, when I drove out there. And he was just so considerate towards me. First day I met him, I remember he gave me his home phone and his phone in Palm Springs. And whenever I called him, he would always call me back.
Yeah. And from there, you've appeared all over the world, right?
I have, and it's a lot of fun.
Where is some of your favorite spots worldwide?
Cedar Rapids, Iowa. But I've been, Japan was a lot of fun. I did a lot of shows in Europe. Like I had mentioned, been to Mexico and Canada and all over the United States. And I'm really excited about doing stuff here in town because people around here don't really get to see what I do too much, so it's very exciting for me to make people in my hometown smile.
Yes. People don't know what this man brings to the table, and it also includes a literary career.
Well, thank you. Yes, I've written 6 books now, and I try to inspire people to live their dream and to become the best they can be. So I'm very grateful that people like to read my books.
And we were talking too about your workout schedule. I can remember in the early days when you were at Iowa, you were out at the Finkbein course from sunup through sundown.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. That is so true. I remember the coaches of the Iowa football team used to jog by every afternoon when they would take their break, and I bumped into Coach Ferentz about a month ago when he was doing volunteer work at Beaver Park with his team.
Yes.
And we were talking about that, and he was saying how he remembered me being out there all day long and on the big ball and stuff, and I was just flattered that he remembered.
Well, because today, how much working out do you do? Because this is a tough go now.
Yeah, well, I practice every day. In the winter, I would practice up to 3 times a day in Arizona, and in the summer, and plus do my workout. In the summertime, I practice usually once a day, usually no more than 3 hours, and then do my workout in the afternoon. So I do my push-ups and stuff like that. So
how many bookings do you have a year now?
It all depends. It can be anywhere from 120 down. So I'm pretty picky what I do now. I don't like to travel real far unless it's a big show. So I'm very grateful that I'm in a position now where I can say no.
All right. What is the biggest show you've ever performed, or one of them?
One of them was I was on The Tonight Show with Tiger Woods many years ago, and Bill Paxton was on with Jay Leno. And I would film it outside with Jay Leno, and then they showed it inside, of course, on the show. That was probably one most biggest goals that I reached, because it took me 27 years to reach that goal, that I wanted to entertain that audience since I was a little boy, and I finally got to do that. So as far as other big audiences, I do a lot of tour events, like the Phoenix Open, and I used to do, I've done probably 40 shows at the Bob Hope Desert Classic through the years, multiple shows per year, and many tour events. And I remember one year at the Houston Open, there was just thousands and thousands of people, and that was very exciting. I used to do halftime shows, remember, at the Iowa basketball games.
Oh, yes.
And that was a lot of fun, and thank God I didn't break any windows, so.
Oh, what a career. We haven't even touched the surface of what this man has done, but he has been the ambassador for golf and for young people and for just to make people smile. Joey, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Great to see you. You're amazing. You're amazing out there. Great to be with you.